Hi, Tim. This is blog number 31 as part of Practicum. This week, because I have everything else completed, and I talked about lesson plans ad nauseum at this point in time, I would just like to talk about some of my PD that I'm involved in right now. I shared on my last blog that I've stepped into the lead role as the transportation SHSM, and I've already started planning a field trip where I'm going to take my students down to the Skills Ontario competition in Toronto this year. I've had my field trip approved. Now I'm just waiting on busing to get approved and then permission forms to get sent out. I find this exciting because I've never planned a field trip in my life. And I'm sure after planning my first field trip, I will find the rest to be more of a pain in the butt than anything else. But just learning this process about how to plan a field trip is exciting to me. Starting tomorrow, I'm going to another school here in London for the day. I talked about this a while back about my professional development. I met a teacher at one of our PD days who works at a different school. He's a transportation teacher. And I'm going down to his school for the day as part of my professional development. My school signed off on this to help assist me in this classroom. I'm pretty excited about that. This week, I've been doing a lot of small projects. And, initially when I stepped into this role, I was very, I want to say intimidated by trying to run a classroom on my own for, it would have been 3.5 months when I stepped into the role last semester. And trying to figure out how I would teach 3.5 months of transportation with not a ton of transportation experience. But with that professional development that I've been talking about, I spent a lot of time researching a lot of the tools that we have in the shop, how to use these tools. So this semester alone, I've already introduced inside calipers, outside calipers, depth micrometers, all these tools that I found in that back bay in our storage room that I didn't know how to use last semester, and I'm putting them to use this semester. And the one thing that I've figured out is to not overcomplicate a lot of things in class, especially because I do have only one class of grade 9-10, Introduction to Transportation or Exploring Transportation, whatever it's called. But I have a couple 11-12 classes that have never done a lot of some of these tasks in the automotive shop. What I've found out in my time here is the previous transportation teacher pretty much only let students work on welding and doing auto body. That was what he focused on. He never focused on doing any lesson planning. He never focused on teaching a lot of the small things in the shop. In fact, I'm told that I run this class much, much more differently than the previous transportation teacher, and students are saying that they are learning more. So I'll take that as a win. Today we're working on brake lines, and I figured out that teaching students how to use a simple flaring tool, a pair of pipe cutters, and a hacksaw are all valuable lessons to be taught. I've had to teach students the proper way to load a blade into a saw, how to properly utilize a saw using full strokes, how to apply pressure, all these little things. I'm breaking down tasks into micro tasks, which is helping me fill these days and teaching them valuable skills. And in the process of all that, I can share with a student that you would use a hacksaw at times in sheet metal, you would use it in plumbing, you would use it extensively in a manufacturing background, you would use it extensively in a transportation background, but this is a multifaceted tool that you use across many trades. Same with your pipe cutters. And because I teach a little bit of soldering in this classroom, introducing them how to properly use pipe cutters, and because, you forget this as a tradesperson from time to time, I guess, until you step into a classroom, showing students the first time how to use a tool properly, it's something that I take for granted. I've had students trying to cut through a pipe just by turning the wheel nonstop without actually rotating the tool. So having to break down those tasks does fill a little bit of time. It's a nice, when I have a bit of a lull in what I've planned out in my week when I have time to kill, this is great to introduce some of these things. So teaching them how to flare a brake line from start to finish has been a great little tool. They enjoy doing this lesson. They enjoy learning from this. And that is what's really helped me succeed this semester, is to really start thinking about how I can break down every task from start to finish. So the professional development is ongoing, especially since I'm out of my broad base. it is the one nice thing about accepting an assignment that was outside of my broad base is it forced me to also learn. It forced me to start thinking about how much I have to break down steps. It forced me to also realize that I have a lot to learn myself. And I guess with that, it is a bit of a humbling experience, which has then allowed me to not see myself as such an authoritative figure. Like I still classroom manage, and I have that kind of structure and that authoritarian approach in that sense as the leader of the classroom. But being brought down a peg or two and having to tell my students, we're going to learn this together, has been a great moment, not only for myself in my professional development, but it has created a bit of a bond between myself and my students to say, hey, I don't know everything. We're going to learn this together. And it takes some of the apprehension away from them, I suppose, when it comes to attempting a task that they've never tried before, when they can see that the teacher in the room also doesn't know how to do the task. So I've really leaned on that. I've leaned into that approach. Never be afraid to learn more. Never be afraid to ask for help. And my colleagues here at this school, although not transportation based, have been extraordinary in helping me with some of my professional development, with giving me ideas to bring into this classroom. We have a tech design teacher. Her name is Miss Gasparotto, and she's taught me or showed me a few little cool projects that I could use, some manufacturing projects that I could incorporate into my classroom, which has helped immensely. So this semester is going very well. And although I'm only 2 out of 5 months into this semester, I feel so much more confident this time around in this class than I did last time when I stepped into this role. So that's my update this week. It's been great. I have no complaints. I still have my highs and lows, but I'm learning to manage those. The break in between semester 3 and semester 4 at Windsor has really given me some time to decompress and to really start focusing on myself again. So that's been a plus as well. But yeah, that's my. I have nothing but excitement, I guess, to share this week. It's been a nice few weeks, and that March break was a nice a relief, I suppose. Getting my SLP done was a relief. Making sure that I've accomplished everything, so I haven't fallen behind on any of my either university work or my duties here in this classroom has been a relief. So that's my blog entry this week. I look forward to seeing you on Saturday. I know I've missed the last few meetings, but gonna hop back in this Saturday and hopefully we can chat. Talk soon, Tim.